I'm Jay Horton. I make movies that make money. This is how. There's been a lot of talk lately amongst filmmakers about bad set environments, so I thought I'd share some set experiences from some other filmmakers. This is purely for entertainment value and is in no way meant to downplay any serious issues that are being mentioned. Audio issues. It's always audio issues. Aw, audio. The redheaded stepchild of the independent film world. But seriously, I can't think of a more put upon position. Filmmakers should really all understand just how important good sound is. I'd very honestly put it ahead of visuals, especially in the low budget realm. Audiences can be a little more forgiving of lax visuals, way more than substandard sound. Nothing makes a movie feel cheap faster than bad sound. Being called names and not fed. I have no joke or funny voice for this one. This kind of behavior is completely unacceptable. Night shoot in the woods on a no budget short. Me and two others had to push this heavy diesel powered generator deep into the woods, trying to stop it from sinking into the mud to power the lights, only to find two directors sitting on a tree stump waiting for us while smoking weed. They didn't provide any food or drink. They didn't bring us a script or anything with them, telling us, "Don't worry, it's all in our heads." They were so bad, nearly everyone walked. Sounds like hobbyists to me. Base level professional minimum is providing food and drink.
Michael Jackson can't get out of his trailer. Door won't open on a music video.
I've heard a lot of stories about different actors being prima donnas, but honestly, I've not really experienced it myself. Well, maybe once or twice. In January of 2020, the director didn't pay the entire crew and everyone left 2 weeks in. And then the guy hired a whole new crew for another week and a half. And as the shoot went along, it kept getting worse and worse and worse day by day. Yeah, that sounds straight up shady. Commercial director refuses to come out from his hotel room, too high, and directs by walkie-talkie to the AD. Yep, that does kind of suck, but I've worked with a few directors that do work remotely, and I can't speak to this particular situation, but often they do it because it has to do with anxiety issues or phobias or just practical logistics, like they can't be there. In the few instances that I've seen it done, the directors honestly did really good jobs. I personally wouldn't want to direct like that, but I guess it can work. I mean, didn't Spielberg direct most of Jurassic Park 2 remotely?
Having the director of photography throw a hissy fit and depart with all the camera equipment, he owned it, on day 2 of a production. Lesson learned. Always own the camera equipment.
Or treat your director of photography right. I mean, not to be a contrarian, but I'd be curious to hear the other side of the story. I've DIT'd on sets where I was mistreated and I just packed up my crap and left. Just because you take a job, it doesn't obligate you to stay if there's something wrong with the job or you're being mistreated. That's part of the reason I wanted to do animated films. You can't have a bad set experience if there's no set. That's a point. Weather forecast says blue sky. Half an hour before a start, one single cloud moves in and stops above you with rain. Won't move, and after an hour time, we had to pack up everything. Blue sky 10 minutes away. One day wasted due to bad luck. Totally. On film shoots, independent or otherwise, we are at the mercy of Mother Nature. One happy little story, I was doing pickups on Monsters in the Woods, and we had booked an actress for that day that was costing quite a bit. There was some nudity involved, and we could not reschedule. And the forecast called for clear weather. So we scheduled the shoot. And the morning of, it started just pouring buckets. But the money was spent, so we drove out to the location, hoping against hope that we could maybe shoot the scene if the rain let up or under tarps. Well, we're on the way out there, and it did not look like the rain was going to let up. But as we got closer and closer to the location, I started noticing this little opening in the clouds and a beam of sunshine coming through. So we pull up to the location, and that opening is literally right above us where we're shooting, and it held for the entirety of the shoot day while it rained all around it. Now, I am not a spiritual man, but that's the closest I've ever seen to divine intervention. 106-degree forecast, outdoor shoot, kids, dogs. Ugh. I've heard over and over again not to ever work with kids or dogs, but I'll tell you this, one of the very easiest shoots I've ever had in dealing with talent was a movie called Socks, a movie starring kids and a dog.
It was one of my first shorts. I had a lot of volunteers, and I used and used them without realizing how much they hated being there. In my mind, I thought, you get the honor to work on my movie. After people stopped working for me, I got the clue. I was loving the position I was in more than the project.
I actually know exactly what you mean. And I think that that really kind of just changes with age, experience, and maturity. I think I personally had a little bit of that attitude when I was starting out. And even now, to this day, I still have to remind myself to think of others first, then the project, then me. I think it's pretty awesome that you recognize the issue and are working to be better.
I traveled 2 hours to shoot in another city. While at the Airbnb with the crew and cast, someone broke into my car and stole my brand new camera.
Ouch.
We were doing an Evil Dead fan film, and a cast member brought an actual Necronomicon. I had to kill everyone.
Again? If I had $1 for every time I heard that one.
We are an indie film crew, but we are incredibly professional. I hired someone who had a pretty extensive background in his field, makeup and effects. He had been involved with so many shows and won multiple accolades for his work. But when he showed up on set and we were ready for his one effect, a blood spray and head chop, he couldn't get it to work right. I get it that these things often go wrong on set, but instead of apologizing or even saying, hey, we can still get this to work, I just need some time to figure out where things went wrong, he decided to insult my crew and told me he couldn't finish the job. I am one of the easiest going people in the world, but I'll tell you this, you don't talk down to my friends and family on set. And in an indie film like ours, they were all family by the end. I was fortunate enough to actually get all the paid for prosthetics and body parts shipped to me, but only after many delays. And they were nowhere near the quality that he promised.
So there's really no excuse for that kind of behavior. It sounds like a very insecure individual who's lashing out to cover his own issues. We should always act respectful to everyone on sets, but whatever you do, keep making movies.